Ah, Piper. The standard sniper who teaches you to keep distance and rewards you for hitting your shots, has become a rampaging, killing machine, deleting everyone in the game. Now you might be asking, Blaze, what are you talking about? I remember her being just fine before. And to answer that question, we have to travel back a few months ago to the Hypercharge update. This season brought a lot of new changes to the meta, with Pro and Truck being introduced, Hyperchargers being added, the new gadget gear, and my boy Fang finally being meta after over a year. But we'll be talking about him in another video. Now, alongside that, we got a couple of balances, with Piper getting 2 changes. The first one being a nerf to her homing gadget's effectiveness, which didn't really change much. But the second one buffed her main attack damage from around 1500 to 1700, which would go on to forever change her and the meta. Now a 200 damage buff might not sound a lot at first, but during this update, Supercell also decided to buff power levels so that each increases stats by 10% instead of just 5. That means that at max level, your Brawl would have double the amount of power in her stats, which means for Piper at max level, she could deal 3400 damage at max range. She's now able to 2-shot half the roster and 3-shot almost everyone in the game. But that's not all, because this change also buffs her damage throughout every range. At just around mid, she could deal about 2000 damage, letting her deal about Belle's attack. This makes her pretty decent up close against enemies, which, defeats the whole purpose of her scaling. This fundamentally breaks her playstyle of staying in the backlines without any punishment for attacking head on. But you wanna know how we can make her even more absurd up close? Well, how about a pushback gadget that never misses with decent reach and slows down the enemy? From just a click of a green button, Auto Aimer lets you easily escape any brawler charging in at you. With the knockback, not only does it interrupt the attacker, but also indirectly buffs your damage from the positioning. And the slowdown even makes them an easy target for you to melt after pushing them back. But that's just one weakness negated. This now actually has another ability that does so as well. Oh wait! Snappy Sniping is a star power that replenishes around half an ammo after every hit, from any range. That means after successfully firing every hit, you're able to immediately get a 4th ammo bar, which means from far away, that comes to a total of 13,600 damage, allowing her to delete everyone except for Frank. And since this works at any range, and you can easily auto-aim around mid, she's able to dish out 8,000 damage in a pinch, taking out most assassins trying to approach her. Oh, and remember that pushback gadget from earlier? Well, apparently, that also replenishes her ammo too. What? That means any tank trying to rush her down is not only going to be blocked by an unmissable gadget, but also be immediately hit with 5 ammo shots and die to it by a sniper. And you thought fighting Fang was unplayable? I can't even get 5 feet near her. Oh, but we're not done, because this star power also works on non-brawlers. What's that? You want to counter her with a Jessie turret because she's a sniper? Well, too bad, it's already gone, and now you're also deleted. Well, here goes another kind of play thrown out the window. Is that a high safe I see? There goes 17% of its health, got immediately from across the map. And I didn't even mention the damage gear, which increases your damage by about 300. That means she can deal a whopping 14,800 damage from across the map, 9,200 damage while being chased, and 20% of the high safe health. Wow, this star power sounds utterly broken. Surely her other one has to be garbage in comparison, right? Well, yeah, while it's not as bonkers, it's still a little stupid. Her star power ambush buffs her damage by about 1,000 whenever in a bush, as if she didn't already have enough. Imagine just walking around with a couple of cubes, then suddenly just being deleted out of nowhere by a non-power cube Piper. But what about her other gadget? It can't be that bad, right? It's literally just an aimbot. Moving on. But we haven't even went over the one thing that makes a brawler broken, the real icing on her kit, her super. Where do I begin? Her super lets her leap over walls from a great distance while dropping 4 bombs, which is basically an instant get out of jail free card that also allows you to get max damage thanks to the positioning. Not only that, but the bombs themselves disrupt any enemy trying to attack you with knockback, giving Piper an opening to attack with good positioning. And God forbid you end up in the middle while she leaps away, as you'll immediately get blown up from over 7,000 damage. On top of that, these bombs also break walls, opening up space and giving Piper a map advantage as a sniper. But okay, let's say you're fast enough to catch up with her and escape the bombs. Free kill, right? Wrong! Because she can immediately pull out her gadget, then delete you with snappy sniping. So no matter where you are in the map, the amount of health you have, no matter how hard you try to exploit her damage scaling, she will always counter you. But how does she compare to other snipers in the game? Brock has a jump gadget that only pushes enemies on top of him. Piper has a gadget that pushes an enemy from mid-range while slowing them. And her super is just Brock's gadget, but further, bigger knockback area, and actually breaks walls. B requires you to land 2 shots in a row to deal 4,000 damage. Piper can already deal 3,400 damage with a longer range, and her gadget grants her a decent damage up close. Belle takes a whole hypercharge and super to deal 3,500 damage. Piper can already deal just as much damage without a hypercharge. Her hypercharge might as well just blow up the entire map. And while she's been under the radar for over half a year now because of the hypercharge assassin meta, she has finally emerged as a menace in this new sniper meta. Thankfully, Supercell has seen her recent surge and has released new balance changes. Oh boy, I can't wait to see how they finally fix her and make her a fair balanced brawler. What is this? They nerfed her HP by 100 health. The thing that didn't matter because of her range. And we're not getting another balance change until the next update. This meta is doomed, I tell you. In conclusion, please delete Larry and Laurie. I hate them so much.